I can understand where he's coming from, because in my mind, Marvel movies are like theme parks. They're popcorn film cinema that you go see.
They're the blockbuster, what you sit down to watch.
They're made for money.
Hey everyone, I'm James Jump. Welcome to the new show from Big CONDO Radio called Cinema Snaps. Show where I bring on some guests. We discuss our favourite auteurs and movies from them. We discuss the ins and outs. Before we get into it, don't forget to like and subscribe to Big CONDO Radio. So today, the auteur in question is Martin Scorcese. We'll be discussing Wolf of Wall Street, Goodfellas, and The Irishman. So today I'm joined by a very special guest, Ryan Sanders. You want to introduce yourself?
Everybody, I'm Ryan. And big thanks to Big CONDO Radio for having me back.
So,
James.
Okay, so Martin Scorsese, one of the biggest directors of our time, and like maybe in general when it comes to gangster movies, because this man knows how to properly produce gangster movies.
Yeah, man, this man is legit. He is like, every time a movie of his comes out, you just have to see it. Yeah. It's just an event because he is that big. He's been around for years, and every one of his movies is just class.
Yep. So the film I want to discuss first is the first ever Scorsese movie I watched, Wolf of Wall Street. Imagine a 14-year-old watching that. So
explains a lot, actually.
Yeah. So, the Wolf of Wall Street. Oh my God, the way Scorsese knows how to get a story from someone, the real Belford. He managed to get the story from him and put that down into an actual interpretation of his life. The
Belmont.
Belmont. Yeah. Sorry about that. The way Scorsese manages to get Belmont's life, and he managed to put that in that movie. He's an amazing storyteller, and it's shown clearly in The Wolf of Wall Street with the amazing.
Let me say, like, that movie does not feel like 3 hours, does it?
No, it does not.
It just zips past.
Gone.
It?
It's gone.
Yeah,
you can't feel it.
It's just because I haven't, like, I got pressured by James to watch The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
And like, I hadn't seen it before, so when I watched this, I was like drawn into this like world of like sleaze, money, and coke.
Yeah, coke. Yeah. Do you want to hear a fun fact? Do you know Jonah Hill and Leonardo DiCaprio actually had to go to the hospital because they contracted bronchitis from all the vitamin D powder they were snorting. Yeah, they contracted that much.
Oh no, I thought it was actual coke.
I mean,
that's ruined the movie for me now. Though.
I mean, the performances in it. Oh my God! Like do you know the performance?
Everybody brings their A game.
Yeah. So when Jonah Hill, when he's choking on the hot dog, he's going like, and Margot Robbie's is there like saying, "Help him, help!" Like the acting in that is great, and then he just comes up to him. Don't no, we made a pact.
A wooga.
So oh my God.
Hamina.
Shut up. So that scene, I love that scene, and I think
that scene, well, like, it's just
he's choking, and you're not gonna show he's gonna die or not, because I didn't know the story until I've seen the movie, and like you don't know what's gonna happen. And
that moment where you don't know, like,
if
he's gonna let him die, if he's gonna let him, like, he's gonna save him, and it's just like so indicative of Martin Scorsese's style, how it can veer so sharply from comedy to drama and then back to comedy.
Yeah, I know.
It's just this movie just flies by so fast. It switches genres like constantly.
For Margot Robbie's like first feature film, Martin Scorsese like proper like really held her up high for saying she was perfect in the movie. She knew exactly what to do. Like, I think that's for all the cast, because Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
Jonah Hill took the lowest possible amount he could have, which was
60K.
60K.
Versus. How much was Leo DiCaprio's?
DiCaprio got 10 million, but he just wanted
10 million.
He wanted to be in a Scorsese movie that bad. But favorite scenes in Wolf of Wall Street, because there's so many to choose from. I'll go first actually. Mine is either got to be when they meet this is not really going to be a memorable one. Where they meet the Swiss bankers, or when Jordan Belmont he goes he does his first sale on the penny stocks. He rings up the guy and he starts like selling him this product.
Yeah, it's just gives Leo DiCaprio plenty of time to shine.
4K. He sells this penny stock for 4K to this guy, and the rest of the studio just start clapping. I'm like, oh my God, how did he do that? How did he do that?
It's like a rock star.
Yeah, and it's like the start of how he's fallen down from being innocent. Because in the beginning of the movie, when he saw Matthew McConaughey's character snort a line of coke, he was like, oh, well, that's not good.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like because my favorite scene is the one in the beginning where Matthew McConaughey's going like, ooh, caw. It's just No, because I'm a massive Matthew McConaughey fan, and like even though he's in this movie for like just about 10 seconds,
No,
he steals every. He managed to steal like
Sure.
every scene he is in from Leo DiCaprio. That's why I had to get rid of him
So
because he was that good.
also it's kind of like a real like a life event. What happened? Stock market
Yeah,
crash.
yeah.
But yeah, like that. The scene in the beginning just showing like his kid come from this background of he's got a wife, he's living in a small apartment.
Yeah.
They're trying to make ends meet each week, and he finally meets these like corrupt stockbrokers who are like,
Yeah.
well, I mean, you know what I mean? It's money, it's corrupt.
Yeah, so many people call The Wolf of Wall Street a comedy. I would say it's like it's like a tragedy with like
it's
comedy
definitely a
elements
tragedy.
because it's like the story of this hard-working man, like who goes to college, gets a degree, he has a wife, he has a small apartment, like you said, and like he's just drawn into this
It's managed a real
seedy, like sleazy world of money, sex, and drugs.
It's mad he's a real
And, like,
person. It's
yeah.
absolutely mad, Dan. It's the fact that I've said before, Scorsese has managed to transform this life into a movie.
Yeah.
Because you know the scene where he's on the phone to Leonardo DiCaprio's character is on the phone to his friend,
Yeah.
and he's took 3 perks. The perks set in, and he says, "I'm not talking on the phone." He goes, "Wait, what you saying?" He goes, "I'm the yeah." Then he drives home, and he's thinking he's hit nothing,
Yeah.
and he's finally came down from his high.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah, he's came down from his high and he's hit everything. It's just the alignment we have with Belmont. It's such a nice little touch that we're aligned with him.
Yeah, man, like
So
it's just like obviously because I'm gonna say it, he's an asshole.
no, yeah, of course
Like,
he's
but
not.
he's a lovable asshole because
charming.
it's Leo DiCaprio. He brings such a presence to his character. Like every one of his scenes where he's like talking about like stocks and that, and like obviously the staple of Martin Scorcese where he breaks the fourth wall constantly.
Yeah, the narration's amazing.
Yeah, that narration is absolutely incredible.
Do you reckon it's a form of gangster movie? Because I reckon there's little bits in
Elements, yeah.
little elements in it. Because in the beginning with John Bernthald's I can't pronounce his last name. I'm so sorry. Bernthald's character, and he's like, "No, show him how it's done." He goes, "Sell me this pen. Sell me this pen." And he goes, he gets the pen. He says to him, he goes like, "Oh yeah, write something down for me." He goes, I don't have a pen. He goes, "Here, supply demand." That I love that scene. I think that was as cheesy as this may say. That scene from that movie actually kind of did stick with me because it's like you can make.
There's just so many scenes that stick with you.
You can make a supply demand out of anything.
I mean, I'd say one that stuck with me the most, but we made a pact.
Okay. We made it. Okay, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just so chaotic. Like the lifestyle of this millionaire.
It's like the editing in this movie, edited by Thelma Schoonmaker, who has edited many of Martin Scorsese's movies. It's just being on. It's like being on a massive pile of coke.
Yeah.
And speaking of coke, we're gonna go back now to the first Scorsese movie I ever saw, Goodfellas.
Oh well, I think we'll get into Goodfellas soon because I've got something else I want to say.
Oh shit!
I've got something else I want to say about Wolf of Wall Street.
Right.
So Wolf of Wall Street, and we said about the gangster element. But do you reckon that's been one of his best movies? Because he's made loads. Got Taxi Driver, Irishman, stuff we're gonna get into later.
Yeah.
But do you reckon that's been one of his best movies? Because it's the thing
say
that
about this like
he's got better with age in a good way.
Yeah, this dude is like in his 80s, and he's still making, because Wolf of Wall Street is 2013, and that is
mad to think.
That's mad to think that a man like that, like this pure filmic genius, has made such a modern film like that. Obviously incorporating his like signature elements, but sort of like just like updating them.
I feel like a bunch of films tried to copy the Martin Scorsese style of like showing this big bad boy coming from the top, because it really is the Wolf of Wall Street a succession story.
Yeah,
it's a succession story, but if I wouldn't say fails the end because he gets put in witness protection.
Yeah.
Spoilers, that should be a big warning.
Big spoilers, yeah.
I mean, you've haven't seen it in 7 years, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what it is. Every Martin Scorsese story, most of them, it follows like someone. In every single Scorsese movie I've watched, the main character who we're aligned with, is never the same at the beginning. He's always either changed, he's either been put into witness protection, dead, a crook, maybe in sometimes better person in some cases.
All three.
Well, yeah, all three, because Scorsese's got such a wide range. But if you're coming from him, a man like him,
Yeah.
you'd understand his statement, what he said about Marvel, saying Marvel isn't real cinema. Because if you
I know,
if you
'cause
come from that,
he's one of the film school generation. He grew up with films like French New Wave, Italian neorealism, elements that he put
That's in his work.
in his work, and like I can understand where he's coming from, because in my mind, Marvel movies are like theme parks. They're popcorn film cinema that you go see.
They're the blockbuster, what you sit down to watch.
They're made for money, to make money, and money alone.
You don't have to be active while watching it, but with a Scorsese movie, you can be active while watching it.
You have to be active. You have to be, like, you see all. If you're active,
there's
like
so much
versus
more.
passive, you see all these elements, like these culmination of elements, like his signature style, everything.
Yeah, but that's why when I see his point, and as a massive example, that is in Wolf of Wall Street, because you cannot compare Wolf of Wall Street to any Marvel movie in terms of style and directing. Not in plot. We're not comparing plots. I mean, like, style and directing, because the directing is so clean. The style of it is so clean. The music in it is so in your face and so up. Like, the scores in the Martin Scorsese movies, I'm not gonna say they get overlooked by the rest of his stuff, but they are very, very nice to look at.
Yeah.
But Wolf of Wall Street, that's weird. That was my first movie I watched.
What a first movie to watch.
By Scorsese.
Yeah.
So he's a great director, I reckon. I'm trying to think about the storm scene, because that's been in the back of my mind, because I wanted to mention the storm scene, because that scene was mad.
It's that scene, I would say, is the culmination of his character.
Yeah.
Because obviously, like, you've got like the fact that he nearly dies, takes Quaaludes, then his plane explodes. Like, it's just like this is where he realizes that, like, shit, I gotta.
It's over the
I've got to
top.
better myself. But it's too little, too late.
No, yeah. It's like the over-the-top action. It's the changing point in the characters. And I do want to move on about changing point, because Goodfellas, that is one of the best changing points
My
I've
favourite
seen.
Scorsese movie.
Is it?
Yes, man, and what a film it was.
What a film. So before we get into this, I just want to let some things know. The real, what's his name, Henry King?
Henry Hill.
Henry Hill, that's it.
Is it Harry or Henry?
It's Henry.
Henry.
It's yeah. The real Henry, he was paid $420,000 before the movie, 2 weeks before the movie's release.
I could do with some of that.
Yeah, $420,000 because of the way the movie portrayed him. Because it left out a lot. He broke witness protection so much.
So much that the witness protection actually, like, said, right, screw you.
Yeah, bye.
You got dropped by witness protection.
So, oh my God, what a film Martin Scorsese has made. It shows the gangster side of being a gangster.
It shows the rise and the eventual fall of the gangster lifestyle.
Yeah. It shows that not everything good can last, not everything can be. And it's just growing
it's
up.
almost like two movies, the way it's presented.
No, yeah, definitely.
You've got the first half, and which is like, obviously, it's this Martin Scorsese's signature breakneck pacing, but like, obviously, like in the first half, it's all happy, like nothing bad happens, everything goes right, and then there's the moment, like, you know, the scene in the bar where, like, it shifts.
Yes.
And we get up to speed.
He smashes his head with a bottle.
Yeah. And then...
I honestly, that movie is not short for good scenes. Yeah. But that's why when I say, oh, can you think of a good scene? Because I was trying to do that for every episode. I feel like there's too many to talk about, so I want to highlight one of my favourite ones.
Yeah.
That's the beginning, showing him, ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be a gangster. I saw him across the streets, and he just looks out the window and he sees these gangsters. It's mad how he's got into this lifestyle from being like, I want to be that, the determination. And if you see his character as a child, innocent and all that, and at the very end where he's in witness protection, paranoid.
Yeah, he's pale as a sheet. He's
gone.
Like,
everyone's left him.
Yeah, he's alone.
And it's just that the movie is not short for anything. People call it people call Scorsese's Goodfellas one of the best movies of all time, actually.
And I would agree with them, because it is.
It is held up there, I reckon. Best movie, the best movie of all time. I wouldn't give it that. I don't know.
No, I wouldn't say it's the best movie.
I don't have a move. I don't have a move for that. But like Scorsese. So, what's your favorite scene from this movie, Goodfellas?
The helicopter scene.
Scene.
I mean, like, because obviously this is late in the movie. Like, Harry's gone off the deep end. He's high. He's high as fuck. He's on coke. He's on every drug imaginable. And like, I just love how, like, it's so different, because we get like the the intertitles with like the time, and just the music in the background. It's just like a paranoid delusion.
Yeah,
like it keeps
exactly
you guessing until the end of the scene. Like it's so different from what's come before. The pacing is like you're on coke yourself.
No, it's very like
and he edited
highest
and like
highs, lowest lows. Yeah. So actually, when we were walking up here, we heard a helicopter, and me and Ryan looked at each other.
Yeah, we thought we was being chased.
No. We were like, oh my god, Goodfellas.
Goodfellas, yeah, man.
But yeah, Goodfellas. I think one of the best actors in that is Joe Pesci.
Oh
my god.
He steals that movie.
He steals the movie, but the way he dies, I think, is so satisfying. Like, he thinks he's about to get this award. Robert De Niro answers the phone across the street, and he says, "Don't."
What do you mean satisfying?
Satisfying. It's just the way, like, he goes in this empty room. He's got this massive thing in his face. His mum's like, "Oh, you're amazing. You're gonna do great." He goes in this room, and suddenly it hits him.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's my hit. I've been marked. And bang, he's on the floor, body there.
I know, like...
I was not expecting that.
I was not expecting that.
First time watching that.
I know, like, you mean, like... Obviously, his character does a lot of, like, evil things.
It is seen he's gonna die.
But it's Joe Pesci's, like, performance that, like, just solidifies his character and make you, like... root for him, even though he's like the bad guy.
Do you know in the scene where they're in like they're playing cards?
Yeah.
And he goes, "Go on, dance." He shoots the bartender in the foot. Then later on, he come to go back there, and he goes, and the bartender says to Joe Pesci's character, "Why don't you get it to yourself?" And one of the other gangsters trying to egg him on, going, "Are you gonna let him talk to you like that? Are you gonna let him talk to you like that?"
He's obviously got serious mental issues.
And he just goes bang, bang, bang. It's like it's so unexpected, but it's such a Joe Pesci thing to do. I know that's as an actor, not as a key man. I doubt Joe Pesci himself.
He shoots people to piss them off.
Do not reckon
Joe Pesci strikes me as the kind of guy who would do that, to be honest.
No, yeah, Joe Pesci's the same type. Robert De Niro's performance, though, that's out of this world, I reckon.
I know, it's almost doing a disservice to Ray Liotta in this movie because he's eclipsed by these total, like, bigger, better actors than him. Yeah. Sorry. But, like, apologies to Ray Liotta. But, like, obviously, like, Robert De Niro, like, particularly in the latter half of the movie, just basically... steals the movie. You get a sense of like how paranoid he is, how like you don't know how far he's willing to go. Like it just keeps you guessing like how long he's gonna keep Henry around. You're feeding for Henry's life.
Yeah. But once again, Scorsese comes in and perfectly does narration. The narration in that movie doesn't last much, but narration's great in that movie.
Yeah, it's in the first half. It does a good idea.
It paints a picture of the gangster world for you in that.
And it solidifies sort of Henry's character as like idolizing these gangsters, and then the end, like throughout like the rest of the movie, it's him realizing that like the gangster life is not also cracked up to be. It's absolutely
you fake it before you make it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like I feel like that Scorsese has a trick up him, and I feel like it's very noticeable once you watch at least 5 of his movies, and not even at least 5, maybe like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Goodfellas, each different gangster movie he makes, I reckon, are all indirect trilogies to themselves. For example, we've got Goodfellas, which is really the movie about, the violence of being a gangster.
Being a rat.
It shows the violence. It shows like the gangster side.
Yeah.
What was his other movie? But not Irishman. He released another one. I forgot the name.
Casino.
I think it was Casino. That shows the business side.
Yeah.
Casino shows the business side, and Irishman shows like the what's it called again? The aftermath.
The loneliness of being a gangster.
Yeah. So we'll jump into Irishman soon.
Yeah.
I still got so much to talk about of Goodfellas. Good pizza.
Asian pizza. Now I want a pizza.
No, but yeah, that movie, Goodfellas, I can see why people say, "Oh mate, it's one of the best movies of all time." Because when was it released? 60s, 70s?
1990.
1990. Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't seem like it, does it?
Because I reckon it's because he uses the film grain. If you look at the cameras, he uses a lot more grainy film than usual. Because if you look at any 90s film, he does it to really set the scene of like this 60s, 70s
it's
crime.
the tone of the movie. It's just perfectly encapsulated by like the style.
It puts you in the seat of the villain, because it puts you in the seat of the villain, where even though they do bad things, you still want to root for them. Mm-hmm. You love Robert De Niro's character, Joe Pesci's character.
Yeah, there's a lot of Martin Scorsese's movies are about bad people.
Yeah,
but it's the performances in those movies. like are what make them so like
they make
like,
the movie.
Yeah, it makes them so like ingrained in popular culture today, and just like just so believable, and like you can actually root for them as opposed to like other movies that aren't like that, just don't flesh out their characters.
What do you reckon's wrong with Goodfellas? You got any like quarrels with it? It's like, oh my god, that is a bit of a because not every movie is perfect, and I feel like Goodfellas isn't perfect. I feel like there's some things where I would change.
What would you change?
I feel like I'd change some of the pacing to be a bit slower at times, because I feel like it's sometimes it's too much of a fast pacing.
No, but I find that suits me very well, because like obviously
I love the narratives.
You've got to go. Obviously, it's 150 minutes long, so you've got to like, and it covers about 20, 30 years.
Yeah, it covers a lot. I feel like the ending where it just shows him and Benny with nothing. Like
it just shows him like because that that scene where like obviously Joe Pesci's like boom boom boom, he's like that's him like wishing to be killed.
Yeah.
Like and it's a homage to like one of the early, like obviously shows Martin Scorsese's knowledge of film, because it's a homage to like one of the earliest silent films of like ever. The Gunslinger.
So we've got this movie, Goodfellas. It's the business side. Casino, Goodfellas are the action. Casino, the business.
Yeah.
And Irishman. I want to move on to that now.
Yeah, man.
It's the loneliness and aftermath of being a gangster.
I would just like to say something. Yeah, like there's a song in Goodfellas, American Pie.
Yeah.
It's about the day the music died.
And that's what Goodfellas.
And Goodfellas shows the end of the gangsters.
Yeah, but Irishman...
And Irishman shows what comes after.
Yeah. Irishman shows the loneliness, because that's the thing. It's 3 hours 45, and before we get into the movie, I've got some full knowledge on it.
Yeah.
Joe Pesci denied the role to play one of the characters 49 times until Robert De Niro convinced him to play the role.
Yeah,
49, and the budget was 140 million. It was originally 120, but
Netflix big bucks in it.
But Scorsese needed the anti-aging technology. I think it came out well. I think I liked how the technology came. You didn't.
I don't.
It adds to the characters. It makes.
I know, but it doesn't really add to the character when
distinctive.
Like Robert De Niro, like when he's supposed to be 20. Looks like he's about 80 with a little bit of makeup on.
No, but come on, you've got to realise that they're old now. But yeah, I love...
I know, but when a video on like YouTube has better anti-aging than like a big studio, you've got, something's up.
I saw it in the Everyman Theatre. I was lucky. I managed to sit through 4 hours of it.
Yeah, James has an iron bladder.
I'm gonna be honest. The scenes, where they think I think his name's Jimmy. Where they go and shoot. Basically, they take one of their bosses to like the home, and like, we gotta get out of here. He goes and just starts shooting, bang, bang.
Yeah, and one thing that I've noticed about that,
shooting,
like in other Martin Scorsese movies, like violence is like ever present.
Yeah,
like it's on like the fringes. It's ingrained in the film. But what I find in Irishman is like he's sort of looking back on his own career, and like with a sort of distaste.
Yes.
Because the violence in that movie is never explicitly shown. I mean, obviously there's some bits, but there's never really a proper shooting scene. And like for that scene, obviously, like where like Frank shoots Hoffa, it's like obviously like I'd say like the fact that he doesn't show us it, the fact that it's so quick, it's almost like disappointing, because you build up like it's built up throughout this entire movie to be like this big event, and it's over in about a second.
With The Irishman, you don't know if the action's gonna happen, or it's gonna die down, because so with the discontent of action, there's not much action in it. Let's be honest, but I loved it.
No, it's a slow, methodical movie.
It's slow, and it shows the end of a gangster. And I think I'm gonna say one of my favorite scenes now. Is the ending with Joe Pesci's character, and I think it was Robert De Niro, and they're sharing bread and wine together, and it's just like it's the end of an era, and slowly Robert De Niro's in prison, and he sees all of his friends either get taken off to be put into coffins, getting because they're dying,
and
the past is dying, and the future, there's no need for these gangsters, and it's like, and I think it's almost like
it's the scene where like after where like he's questioned, like his lawyer's dead, and he says, "Who got him?"
Yep.
Cancer.
then because it's like
because he lives in this world like where he has to look over his shoulder. He has to leave the door open whenever he sleeps.
But the only killer now is death, and that's I feel like the way they've shown
the only killer now is age.
Yeah, and that, like I feel like that movie is a bit like a homage to Scorsese. I feel like him saying, there's no longer a need for.
I think this movie, because Scorsese has said this is going to be his last gangster movie, because dude's getting old, and I hope he's around for so many more years and makes so many more movies. But at the same time, I don't. I think like if he leaves off with The Irishman, it's a perfect like sort of nightcap to his career, because it's him looking back on his.
That's what it is.
On all his movies, like and his signature style. It's just a slow burn movie that like explores all these different eras of like gangsters and like just explores the rise, the end, and just because
there's a homage to Goodfellas in the scene. Do you know where Joe Pesci's character goes to get shot in Goodfellas?
Yes.
That's so reminiscent. That the scene where I think it's Jimmy he gets shot by Robert De Niro. That's very reminiscent. But Martin Scorsese, this is like him saying, "This is my final like movie. No one wants gangster. Well, I want a gangster movie, but it's like him saying, "No one wants gangster anymore. I'm ending. It's the end of an era."
Like, cause like no big like none of like the big studios wanted The Irishman to be made.
Paramount
they wouldn't give him. They wouldn't give him the money to, like and like. It's quite telling that like nowadays, like obviously going back to like the film about like Marvel movies being theme parks, like I've got to say, if like The Irishman was in theaters, I don't think it would have made a lot of money.
No, it wouldn't have. It definitely wouldn't have.
Like so, I'm kind of like grateful to Netflix for giving this movie a chance and giving Scorsese the budget he needed to tell this story, this great tale of like the end of an era.
It was an end of an era, and I feel like it's shown perfectly in the end of the movie, where he's going to get a coffin, he's getting fitted out, his daughter no longer likes him, he regrets
and he goes to like where he'll be buried,
he regrets his life.
He's looking at all like the coffins of his friends, like he's looking at like his past.
It's ironic,
like, it has no future,
because in most gangster movies it's either it's the rival gang who gets them, it's the police, it's them like maybe taking their own life, but it's age this time. And
age is the worst killer.
Age is the best killer, and I feel like age is the real villain in this movie. So
this is getting into some deep shit here, isn't it?
So favorite part in the film for you, and I'll say mine first actually.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part was when Robert De Niro's character met his friend Will when he's fixing the car.
Yeah.
I like that. It's like a little homage that they spark together. It's a nice scene. I feel like that was like one of the best scenes in the movie if we ignore the ending. Because the movie where I think it was was like the Ronettes, the night we met, that song came on. He's like real through the home. He didn't know what was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like the entire it's all like you don't know what's gonna happen. There's no scenes where like, oh my god, this is so fast paced.
Yeah.
It was a slow paced gangster movie where I almost peed myself in the cinema. It was it was beautiful. It's a beautiful movie.
Too
I reckon.
slow paced for James.
No, I reckon it's the perfect pacing.
Yeah.
Not many people were happy with it. It got good scores critically, which I'm glad it did. Commercially, people were people saw they're saying Scorsese's new movie. People, oh my god, gangsters,
and people
guns.
saw the runtime 209 minutes.
And people thought guns, gangsters. Oh my god, was this the guy who made
This is the guy who made Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, the guy who made Wolf of Wall Street. The guy who made it.
The Departed.
It's brilliant, and I feel like Scorsese's been.
It's obviously like in the modern era, Scorsese's been making a lot of movies that are like more modern. This is him going back to his roots in like the gangster films.
Do you know he helped out on Shark Tale?
What?
He helped out on Shark Tale.
Did he?
I think he played a character.
Oh my god! Yeah, he was the blowfish.
Yeah, he was blowfish.
Oh my god! I forgot about that. Watch Shark Tale.
Watch Shark Tale.
One of the best movies ever.
No, so we've put. I'm glad we've chose these three because there was so many others to choose from. Because we started with Wolf of Wall Street because I feel like that was the easiest to start with, and it's the best. I feel like it's one of the funnest to talk about.
It's definitely the most fun
Scorsese
movie. The most like light-hearted, even though like there's some like obviously dark elements.
Yeah.
It's mostly just a fun ride.
Yeah, but that's the thing. All his movies are fun rides, I reckon. All different paces, and the three movies we've seen today.
Yeah.
They're spectacular. They are spectacular movies. And I feel like
Martin Scorsese is in a league of his own.
Yeah. I feel like people look at Martin Scorsese as I want to be him. I want to be this great in this one genre.
Because like obviously back then, like when he was watching, he was a little kid, he went to the theatre.
Yeah.
Like, and he saw all these movies, all these westerns, and all these film noirs. Like, and just, like, the roles now, like, me and you are going to see these movies, and, like, just...
He influences, I reckon. But this
he is definitely a big influence on many directors today.
I'm glad we've talked about these 3 movies. These have been some recommendations from Cinema Snaps. Ryan, I'm about to end up. Is there anything you want to say?
Watch these movies.
Yeah, watch these movies, yeah?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Alright, thanks to James and the Big Condo for having me again. I don't know why they keep inviting me around. Right.
But I've been James Jump, otherwise known as the host of Cinema Snaps. I hope to catch you in the next episode.